What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and as you know, one of the last known Switch games we know that's coming out right now is Luigi's Mansion 2, and that is apparently coming in a couple of weeks, which is exciting, kind of. At least it was originally when I was just kind of thinking about, I guess it'd be fun to go back and play Luigi's Mansion 2. But on second thought, I really don't know how I feel anymore, and it's really weird. I've never really gave my exact feelings on this, and I kind of just waited to see exactly what the game was going to look like and if it was going to be any different at all. I should have known it wasn't. But yes, the previews are technically out. Nintendo didn't fly anyone out to like actually get previews or anything like that. They just said, here, play the game. So yeah, a couple of content creators were actually able to play the game, like Nin10doland World, and obviously Nintendo Life is one of those that we always can look forward to see some gameplay. And we got new gameplay, and including some information from Nintendo Life about how their preview went. Now, for Nintendo Life, the reviewer actually did not play the original Luigi's Mansion 2, so this was their first time, which is exactly what I kind of wanted out of a reviewer, so I can see kind of their experience for the first time, because this is exactly what it's going to be for a lot of people's first time playing Luigi's Mansion 2, and it's not good. No. It's not looking good at all. Before we dive into the previews and my thoughts as well, I want to say thank you guys so much, because we had just hit 300,000 subscribers. Almost over 500 subscribers came in yesterday just to help reach this goal. You guys are truly the best, and I am extremely blessed to have a community like you guys, and it makes me excited to wake up every morning and talk about Nintendo with you guys. Thank you so much. This is a pretty huge milestone for me, and to hit 300K still just feels like a dream. Even to hit, anything past 50, feels like a dream. So I thank you guys so much, and there is a really special video that I have coming. Just stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much, and let's jump into Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So first off, a big complaint that I'm seeing a lot is that it's just ugly, and I have been saying this, it just doesn't look that good. It still very visually looks like a 3DS game. The textures look like a 3DS game. The lighting, the colors, the saturation looks like a 3DS game. I don't know what Nintendo's even classifying this to be. Is this a remake? Does Nintendo consider this a remaster? It just looks like a slightly up-res port still. I mean, I can't even really give it remaster all that much. After seeing games like Metroid Prime remastered, this just doesn't look that good. And this is kind of just hurting me mentally, thinking about people that's played Luigi's Mansion 3, and one of the people that helped it get, 13 million units sold, one of like the biggest games on the Switch, and then like going to this game with excitement and saying like, wow, where did the series go? Like, after an amazing game like 3, why would Nintendo want to go back to this? And I'll talk about that more in a second, but really it's just visually just such a downgrade from Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi's Mansion 3 actually has some of the best graphics on the entire console, like one of the best looking games I've ever seen from Nintendo. And, to go from that to this just felt lazy. I mean, you can simply just boil it down to the models of Luigi, and it's just night and day. It's crazy to tell somebody that both of these games are available on the same console. I mean, look at the amount of detail to Luigi in Luigi's Mansion 3, where 2, he just looks plasticky, and his colors don't even look great. I mean, it looks like a light green. It doesn't even look good. I don't like it. Nintendo Life also talked about how the game just is kind of slow paced. There's lots of moments where EGAD stops to talk to you. If you remember from the original game, this is still here, where he pings you every 3 seconds whenever you find something relatively new. The whole game is mission based. If you haven't played this game yet, let me tell you about it. So pretty much it's not kind of go anywhere, do what you want like the original, and it's not very floor segmented like 3. It's just kind of mission based, which means you'll go back to EGAD's lab. He'll give you a mission for one of the mansions. Yes, there were multiple mansions this time around. I believe 5 or so, but you'll go into the mansion and go through a very select preset amount of rooms that are part of that mission, and then that's it. And then you'll go back to the hub, do it all over again. So it's like levels, if anything. And it feels weird for a game like Luigi's Mansion, where you're supposed to be freely exploring a mansion. Once again, it's also a step back from what Luigi's Mansion 3 was, which was bigger and better. It was a bigger mansion with tons of open rooms to explore and find secrets in. And this game definitely lacks that. Another thing it lacks is boss battle encounter variety, because you'll fight the same looking boss over and over and over again that simply just possesses certain things. And I'm going to tell you without spoiling you right now, some of the things that they possess are very lame. And with Luigi's Mansion 3, they actually brought back portrait ghosts from the first game, which means you have very unique boss encounters. Why would they want to go back to this? It's still very confusing to me. It's so important to Luigi's Mansion, the entirety of the game, just to have like these really specifically cool boss battles that are based around characters with personality, and it just really makes the game Luigi's Mansion. You know, Luigi's Mansion 1 and Luigi's Mansion 3 is really good due to its boss battle encounters and its characters with the portrait ghosts, and I feel like without that, it kind of dulls the game down. Yeah, seeing people playing this for the first time, it's interesting to see how they feel, because maybe they like it more than I did, or maybe they like it more than most people did. But watching the Nintendo Life preview, they really just did not enjoy it. Another thing that's really weird about this game that they mentioned is the control scheme, where you look up with X and like down with B, and like you have a whole second stick now, but it still ties the controls down to like you're still playing on a 3DS, and there's no way to change that even with your second stick. It's strange. And a big problem I've seen so far is that Nintendo Life said that you also use X to interact with things instead of the A button. So yes, you'll be walking around having to press X, sometimes accidentally looking up when you're trying to go out of a door, and it's just a big issue. It should just simply not be the case when you have an entire Luigi's Mansion game on the Switch already that has a better control scheme. It just really feels like they did not care about this game. Like, this is just something that somebody higher up at Nintendo wanted to have on Switch, and Nintendo was just forced to make this thing happen. I'm gonna be real honest with you. At first, I was excited because I'm like, okay, surely if Luigi's Mansion 2 is a 3DS game that comes over to the Switch, we're definitely going to get other 3DS games, and I still think that's the case, but now I'm worried about how they're going to look. I hope they don't look like just 3DS game again, but a little clearer. You know, I hope they're actually done right. Like, look at the scene of Luigi getting scared by the ghost. What is in his mouth? Is that part of his, like, flashlight clipping through his face? Is that his teeth? Like, what am I looking at? It's also kind of just disappointing to think after all the great 3DS games that we could get on the Switch, this is the one that we get. You know, it's just strange, and sometimes there's some games that Nintendo just needs to leave alone, you know? Especially when it's a game that a lot of people did not enjoy, and it's the main reason Nintendo went back to more of the classic style with Luigi's Mansion 3, is because they knew people didn't enjoy this game. Why bring it back just because you can? It doesn't make sense, and honestly, it's not just a thing that Nintendo brought back that's going to be cool to have. It might actually hurt them, because a lot of people coming after Luigi's Mansion 3, they don't care that this is labeled as a 2, you know, they're gonna be like, you know, this is the game that comes after 3, it released after 3, why does it look, play, and feel so bad? This is not right, and it could, I don't know if it actually will, it probably won't, but it could impact sales slightly for the next Luigi's Mansion. People saying, you know what, I'll wait a bit, because Luigi's Mansion 2 was kind of weird, and it was kind of wonky. Why would Nintendo want to do this to themselves after having such a massive success with 3? It's confusing to me, and I don't understand it. That's like them re-releasing Metroid Prime Federation Force just because they can. Why would they want to do that when they're finally revitalizing Metroid in the right way, and even got Metroid Prime 4 on the way? Why would they want to do Federation Force again just because it was on a 3DS and they can? I get Nintendo wants to save some games that are strapped to the 3DS, but some games need to just be left alone. And I know it doesn't matter in the long run. There might still be 3DS games coming. I'm sure the 2 Kirby games that are left on a 3DS with Triple Deluxe and Robobot could be coming. I still think there's a really good chance we could eventually get Kid Icarus Uprising HD, and maybe some other ones as well, like Tomodachi Life, or maybe even something like A Link Between Worlds. But if they do go with these games, they need to make them like a remake or a complete remaster where the graphics match those on par of other games on the current Nintendo Switch right now. I know I probably scared off a lot of people with this, but I promise you, this game is not terrible. It is not a bad game at all, and you'll probably even have a good time with it, but you will notice a huge difference between this and Luigi's Mansion 3, and you will come out of this probably 100% suggesting Luigi's Mansion 3 before this game, and that's just how it's going to be, and that's fine, but it is just weird that Nintendo is just going from an excellent game to a very average game. It's just strange to me, and I don't know if we ever necessarily needed this game to be on Switch. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about Luigi's Mansion 2, and do you agree with the previews? Do you think this game's going to be underwhelming? Do you think Nintendo should have just kept this in the vault? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.